Hello, chocolate friends. Today I am going to talk to you about a chocolate that was kind of all the buzz at Chocoa in February of 2024. So when I didn't go to Chocoa that year, but when my friends came back, this was the chocolate that I kept hearing about and the one that people were really interested in talking about. So I got my hands on some and I'm going to share it with you and tell you a little bit about the company behind it. So this is the chocolate, Kairi Chocolate. They are out of Trinidad, Tobago, and I have a few chocolates from them. This is the one that got the buzz. So it's an alternate milk chocolate made with garbanzo beans. So we're seeing lots of different alt milks being made in craft chocolate right now, and this is one that it was new and exciting to the people at Chocoa. So I have a few other ones that they sent me. They also sent me an orange dark milk, an island spice, chai spice, and a 65% with nibs. So let me tell you a little bit about Kairi first. So Kairi was founded in 2017 by a husband and wife team, Deosaran, Jagroo, and Cherie and Ramlakhan. They're in Trinidad, Tobago. Their background is not culinary. So Deosaran was a senior executive in the sugarcane industry, and he retired in 2014. And Cherie Ann was a teacher before she retired from that and became a chocolatier and a chocolate maker. How she did that was she took classes, online classes from Chocolate, and also in Trinidad, in case you don't know, is a very famous university cocoa research center. So there's a cocoa research center of the University of the West Indies in Trinidad, and she also took some classes from there. So in 2015, Cherie went to the Grenada Chocolate Festival, which is amazing. If you ever have a chance to go for sure. And that was the first time that she was introduced to bean to bar chocolate. Now, she got to sample chocolates from all over the world, craft chocolates, and kind of got it in the niggle in her head. Her husband's family had a history with cacao. They had owned a cacao estate for many, many years. And so it wasn't just this kind of random thing that happened, but it was this niggling that she got after the Grenada Chocolate Festival. So they decided that their retirement plan was going to be that they were going to run a tree to bar, or I guess they call it blossom to bar. That's what they have on their bar, blossom to bar chocolate company. And so she got training from Chocolate, came home, bought equipment, converted an entertainment room into a chocolate microfactory, and on Valentine's Day of 2017, she made her first batch of chocolate, which she shared with her students. So I mentioned that Deosaran's family had a bit of a background in cacao. So all the cacao for Kairi Chocolate comes from La Carlota estate in Guayco Tamana, Trinidad. And this estate, it's a 120-year-old cacao estate. It was owned and cultivated by the Fahy family in the early 1900s. It was a cacao plantation for decades and decades. In the 1960s, that family sold to Harry and Suma Jagroo, which is Deosaran's family. At the time, on the cacao plantation, all of the cacao was going to the US and Europe. And in the 1960s, the Cacao Research Unit from the University of the West Indies came in and they initiated and monitored the planting of 3,000 different varieties, several varieties of cacao trees. That was in the 1960s. in the 1970s, if you're not familiar with history, there's a lot of weird things that were going on in the 1970s. And in the 1970s, economies entirely shifted. Oil industries went crazy. Some were going up, some were going down. It was just all a wacky time. And so that led to the cacao plantation actually being abandoned. So when Deosaran ended up inheriting part of this 120-year-old cacao plantation, and they got this retirement plan in 2015, he began to do some rehabilitation on the farm because, as you can imagine, being abandoned, plants grow very, very fast when they're left to their own devices. And he decided to focus on fine flavor cacao as they were putting in place this retirement plan that they were implementing. So once they started doing this, some of the original workers returned, and as they rehabbed the farm, they found some of the tags from the 1960s on the varieties of trees. So it's an ongoing rehabilitation project, and they're also planning on expanding into ecotourism. So the La Carlotta estate uses no chemicals, fine flavor cacao, and they also partner with other cocoa producers to let them use their post-harvest facilities, and they do some training and field demos on the farm as well. So they're not only helping their own cacao farm, but they're helping other farmers in the area as well. All right, what else do I want to tell you before I flip the camera around? I think that's it. Okay, so I'm going to flip the camera around. We'll open it up and try this Garbanzo chocolate for sure. I may try another one, the Island Spice, probably, because that one's interesting to me, a little bit different. So let's flip the camera around. We'll talk a little bit about the packaging and the name, and we'll get down to the chocolate. All right, so like I said at the beginning of the video, Cherie has sent me these chocolates. I tried to order them online from the US and they were listed as out of stock because I like to order my own stuff when I'm doing evaluation. But when I inquired when they would have more in stock, she said, oh, I will send you some. So this is the selection that she sent me. I think today you can see they've won awards. So they won awards in 2021. I know they've also won for their 70% bar, which I do not have. So they've got this one, the Chai Spice in 2021, this one in 2023, and then a silver award in 2022. And this one won a gold award in 2022. So this is the one I'm going to open. I think I will also open, if I have time, the Island Spice. So let's talk about the name. So they've got the La Carlotta estate. That's all where the beans are grown. So that's how they get blossom to bar, because they are growing their own beans. They've kind of divided operations where Deosaran does field operations and Cherie does chocolate maker, chocolatier. So Kairi is it means land of the hummingbird. It is an Amerindian name given to Trinidad by the indigenous people of the area. So then again, it says Trinitario Fine Flavor Cacao. They won an award. Garbanzo. This is an alternate milk garbanzo bean chocolate. So let's flip it over and take a look at the ingredients. All right, so we've got cacao beans, cacao and cocoa. I use those interchangeably. Cane sugar, garbanzo, and cocoa butter. And just some other information, how you should store it, batch number, best before. Let's see what else. They do have mission statements about sustainability and land practices. So like I mentioned, they do not use chemicals on their farm in Trinidad. All right, let's not cheat and look at the tasting notes. Let's open this up. It's a pretty cacao pod on the front, very nice. Oh, That's cool. Look at that. So when you open the cacao pod, you see the inside of the cacao pod. That's cool. So it's got the harvest on the inside and who crafted it, a tasting profile, but we're going to kind of ignore that for now. Cute little bar. All right, so let's see. It gives you some tasting instructions, some background on the name, map so you know where it is. So yeah, let's check it out. I can imagine they double wrap because humidity is going to be a problem in that area of the world. All right, let's open it up. Looks nice so far. It's a pretty bar. Looks pretty good still. Okay, so here I really like this little dappling on the mold. Can you see how this is like smooth and this is kind of like dappled? That is going to be a really nice way to help you have fewer mold release marks if you're interested in being a chocolate maker. So cool mold. Those are my fingerprints on the back. So ignore those. It looks like it's a beautiful temper still. So very good. This is technically a Mylk bar, so it won't have as strong a snap as a single origin dark bar, but let's give it a listen and see what we can hear. It does have a really good snap. It was a pretty good snap. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to warm up the cocoa butter so it releases the aromatics with my thumb. I will check the aroma, check the taste, and we'll come back and talk to you about it. All right, so interesting bar that I have tasted. I can see why this was the talk of the festival. So this is an alternate milk, so the garbanzo bean powder would be replacing milk powder. And it's a 50%, so it's a little sweeter than your regular darks, which is fine. That's what you expect. It has a little bit of texture to the malt, which is also fine. In their tasting notes, they talk about acidity and some fruitiness. I would say in this bar that is minimal. This has just really nice chocolatey notes, exactly what you would expect in a milk chocolate bar. Just really nice milk chocolate shining through. The cocoa shining through being the star of the show. I actually don't get a lot. So I didn't tell you about the aroma. So the aroma is really nice. I get almost a floral warm spice aroma to it. I checked the ingredients again to make sure there were no spices in there because I definitely get like a florally warm spice in there. And yeah, it was just really nice milk chocolate. And because it doesn't have dairy, I mean, from a cow, it is vegan. And so that's super cool. This is an excellent vegan milk chocolate. Really good. Really good. Exactly what you would expect from a milk chocolate bar. The garbanzo beans, you're not going to eat this thinking, oh, this is chocolate made with beans. I only get the garbanzo beans, a little tiny bit of nuttiness right as it's clearing your throat. And then it's gone. So it's just like a little flash of the garbanzo bean in a nuttiness. It's definitely garbanzo bean though. You definitely taste it. And then it's gone. So it's just a little flash there at the end. So you're not going to eat this thinking, oh, this is me eating chocolate made with beans. No, absolutely not. This is just a really nice milk chocolate. I want to open this Island Spice one and check that one out too. So the Island Spice, my fingers, is cinnamon, bay leaf, nutmeg, and vanilla. So let's open it. I think this is a really cool package design. Oh, this one's harder to open. There we go. Where you have, that's what the inside of a cacao pod looks like as you open the bar. Very cool package design. Let's open this one. It's well packaged. You're not going to have humidity problems with this. That's for sure. Okay. Again, a really nice looking bar. The percent on this one is a 50% dark milk. This one does have milk in it. So this one is not a vegan bar, whereas the other one was. So it looks really nice prior to me putting fingerprints on it. Again, really nice color. I don't know if you can see the color. Can you see the color difference between the dairy milk, the cow milk, and the garbanzo bean? A little bit darker. The milk dairy milk one is a little bit lighter, as you would expect. Good snap. Really nice. Let's give it a check the aroma and give it a taste. All right, so this one is dangerous, you guys. This has, the spices are not overwhelming. They're mild, they're balanced. You can definitely tell. It's funny, you don't think about alt milks being alt milks until you go back and taste a milk and you get that sour note that milk has in it. It's milk. It's like almost like a sour cream or a creme fraiche note, but it's definitely a dairy milk bar. You can tell that. It's really nice. People would not have a problem chomping this bar all the way through. Sweetness is perfectly in balance. The cinnamon almost has a little bit of heat on your tongue. Yeah, it's just really nice. Island Spice bar, cinnamon, bay leaf, and nutmeg in there, a little bit of vanilla. So nice, very nice milk and alternate milk bars that they are making at Kairi Chocolate. So what I'm going to do is we'll flip the camera around and finish up. All right, so those were two different milk or alternate milk chocolates from Kairi Chocolate out of Trinidad. They have been finalists a few years in the Trinidad and Tobago National Cocoa Awards. They have had their chocolate featured on a Caribbean airline. They, as I mentioned earlier, have won awards from the Academy of Chocolate, several of them over several years. And they also have a social responsibility element to their business model, where they have an endowment that they give to what's called the Heal House, which is a drug rehabilitation facility in Trinidad. They told me they're trying to both heal the land and the people. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what they come up with in the future. I quite enjoyed these bars. If you get your hands on them, for sure, give them a try. I'm excited to try the other ones that they sent me. And I think that's all I have to say about Kairi Chocolate. So that is this week's chocolate. If you have any questions, if you've had an interesting alternate milk bar, let me know about it. I've run into a few. Depending on when this video posts, you may have seen another one that was very interesting, or it may be coming up. I don't know. You'll have to look for it. Otherwise, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about alt milks, and hopefully you will join me next time when we talk more about all things chocolate. Thanks. See you then.